have something nice to listen to, or so that you don't feel alone, and that you know that you've got me, your friend, here talking to you, and we're going on a little journey and learning something new together. So, without any further ado, we're going to whisper today about Brazil. We're starting by talking about law in Brazil, which should be an interesting read. If you are Latin American, feel free to say hi in the comments. I get some views from Brazil, Colombia, and Venezuela, and also a smaller amount in Argentina. So, hello and welcome to the video. Of course, if you're a regular viewer as well, hi to you, and feel free to say hello in the comments. I love hearing from you. Now, law. Brazilian law is based upon the civil law legal system, and civil law concepts prevail over common law practice. Most Brazilian law is codified, although non-codified statutes also represent a substantial part, playing a complementary role. Court decisions set out to interpret guidelines, however they are seldom binding on other specific cases. Doctrinal works and the works of academic jurists have strong influence in law creation and in law cases. The legal system is based on the federal constitution promulgated on the 5th of October 1988 and the fundamental law of Brazil. All other legislation and court decisions must conform to its rules. As of April 2007, there have been 53 amendments. States have their own constitutions which must not contradict the federal constitution. Municipalities and the federal district have organic laws which act in a similar way to constitutions, and these are called leis organicas or something like that. Legislative entities are the main source of statutes, although in certain matters, judiciary and executive bodies may enact legal norms. Jurisdiction is administered by the judiciary entities, although in rare situations the federal constitution allows the federal Senate to pass on legal judgments. There are also specialized military, labor, and electoral courts. The highest court is the Supreme Federal Court. This system has been criticized over the last few decades for the slow pace of decision making. Lawsuits on appeal may take several years to resolve, and in some cases more than a decade elapses before any definite rulings. Nevertheless, the Supreme Federal Tribunal was the first court in the world to transmit its sessions on television and also via YouTube. In December of 2009, the Supreme Court adopted Twitter to display items on the day planner of the ministers to inform the daily actions of the court and the most important decisions made by them. Now to their military. I don't know much about Brazil's military. The armed forces of Brazil are the largest in Latin America by active personnel and the largest in terms of military equipment. It largest number of armoured vehicles in South America, including armoured transports and tanks. It is also unique in Latin America for its large elite forces specialising in unconventional missions. The Brazilian Special Operations Command and the versatile strategic rapid action force made up of highly mobilised and prepared Special Operations Brigade, Infantry Brigade parachutists, 1st Jungle Infantry Battalion, which are air mobile, and the 12th Brigade Light Infantry, which are air mobile, able to act anywhere in the country on short notice to counter external aggression. Cool. The state's military police and the military firefighters corps are described as an ancillary force of the army by the Constitution, but are under the control of each state's governor. Brazil's navy, the second largest in the Americas, once operated some of the most powerful warships in the world, with 2 Minas Gerais-class dreadnoughts, which sparked a South American dreadnought race between Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. Today it is a green water force and has a group of specialised elite in retaking ships and naval facilities. Grumec unit specially trained to protect Brazilian oil platforms along its coast. It is the only navy in Latin America that operates an aircraft carrier, PHM Atlantico, and one of the 10 navies of the world to operate one. The Air Force is the largest in Latin America and has about 700 manned aircraft in service and effective about 67,000 personnel. Brazil has not been invaded since 1865 during the Paraguayan War. Additionally, Brazil has no contested territorial disputes with any of its neighbours. That's a good thing. And neither does it have rivalries like Chile and Bolivia have with each other. The Brazilian military has also 3 times intervened militarily to overthrow the Brazilian government. I didn't know it was 3, I thought it was 2. Okay. It has built a tradition of participating in UN peacekeeping missions such as in Haiti, East Timor, and Central African Republic. Brazil signed the UN Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. Good job. Now to Brazil's foreign policy. Brazil's international relations are based on Article 4 of the Federal Constitution, which establishes non-intervention, self-determination, international cooperation, and the peaceful settlement of conflicts as the guiding principles of Brazil's relationship with other countries and multilateral organizations. According to the Constitution, the President has ultimate authority over foreign policy, while the Congress is tasked with reviewing and considering all diplomatic nominations and international treaties, as well as legislation relating to Brazilian foreign policy. Brazil's foreign policy is a byproduct of the country's position as a regional power in Latin America, a leader among developing countries and an emerging world power. Brazilian foreign policy has generally been based on the principles of multilateralism year. In addition, Brazil has already managed a peacekeeping mission in Haiti, which is $350 or $1 million worth, and makes in-kind contribution to the World Food Programme, $300 million. This, in addition to the humanitarian assistance and contributions to multilateral development agencies. The scale of this aid places it on par with China and India. The Brazilian South aid has been described as a global model in waiting. Now it's time to learn about law enforcement and crime in Brazil. In Brazil, the Constitution establishes 5 different police agencies for law enforcement. The Federal Police Department, the Federal Highway Police, the Federal Railroad Police, the Military Police, and the Civil Police. Interesting, there are so many different types of police. Of these, the first 3 are affiliated with federal authorities, and the last 2 are subordinate to state governments. All police forces are the responsibility of the executive branch of any of the federal or state powers. The National Public Security Force also can act in public disorder situations arising anywhere in the country. The country still has above average levels of violent crime and particularly high levels of gun violence and homicide. In 2012, the World Health Organization estimates the number as 32 deaths per 100,000 inhabitants, one of the highest rates of homicide in the world. The number considered tolerable by the WHO is about 10 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. In 2018, Brazil had a recorded 63,880 murders. That's a lot of murders, Brazil. However, these are different between the crime rates in the Brazilian states. In Sao Paulo, the homicide rate registered in 2013 was 10.8 deaths per 100,000 inhabitants, while in Alagoas it was 64.7 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. That's a lot. Brazil also has high levels of incarceration and the 3rd largest prison population in the world, behind only China and the United States, with an estimated total of approximately 700,000 prisoners around the country. That is so many. An increase of about 300% compared to the index registered in 1992. The high number of prisoners eventually overloaded the Brazilian prison systems, leading to a shortfall of about 200,000 accommodations. That's insane. Administrative divisions. Brazil is a federation composed of 26 states, 1 federal district, and around 5,570 municipalities. States have autonomous administrations, collect their own taxes, and receive a share of taxes collected by the federal government. They have a governor and a unicameral legislative body elected directly by the voters. They also have independent courts of law for common justice. Despite this, states have much specific form of government. Although defined by law, Brazilian regions are useful mainly for statistical purposes and also to define the distribution of federal funds in development projects. Municipality, as the states have autonomous administrations, collect their own taxes and receive a share of taxes collected by the union and state government. Each has a mayor and an elective legislative body, but no separate court of law. Indeed, a court of law organised by the states can encompass many municipalities in a single justice administrative division called comarca or country. Now, what's Brazil's economy like? I don't know enough about Brazil's economy, I don't think. Brazil is the largest national economy in Latin America, the world's 9th largest economy and the 8th largest in purchasing power parity, according to the 2018 estimates. Brazil has a mixed economy with abundant natural resources. After a rapid growth in preceding decades, the country entered an ongoing recession in 2014 amid a political corruption scandal and nationwide protests. Its gross domestic product per capita was $5,919 in 2017, putting Brazil in the 77th position according to IMF data. Active in agricultural, mining, manufacturing, and service sectors, Brazil has a labour force of over 107 million, ranking 6th worldwide, and unemployment of 6.2%, ranking 64th worldwide. The country has been expanding its presence in international finance and commodity markets, and is one of the groups of 4 emerging economies called BRIC countries. Brazil has been the world's largest producer of coffee for the last 150 years. Thank you for keeping me awake every day, Brazil. The country is a major exporter of soy, iron ore, pulp, maize, beef, chicken meat, soybean meal, sugar, coffee, tobacco, cotton, orange juice, footwear, airplanes, cars, vehicle parts, gold, ethanol, semi-finished iron, among other products. Brazil's diversified economy includes agriculture, industry, and a wide range of services. Agriculture and allied sectors like forestry, logging, and fishing accounted for 5.1% of the GDP in 2007. Brazil is the largest producer of agricultural commodities and also has a large cooperative sector that provides 50% of the food in the country. The world's largest healthcare cooperative, Unimed, is also located in Brazil and accounts for 32% of the healthcare insurance market in the country. Interesting. Brazil is one of the largest producers of animal proteins in the world. In 2019, the country was the world's largest exporter of chicken meat. It was also the world's 5 largest producers in the world: manganese, tin, niobium, and nickel. In terms of precious stones, Brazil is the world's largest producer